Warcry is here, but what the heck do you need to buy?
Spiky bits.
Welcome back, Hobby Maniacs. I'm Baer from SpikyBits.com, and it is Warcry weekend. It's crazy. Folks have been really digging this new game, and there's a bunch of stuff that just came out, and a lot of folks have been asking me, hey, what do I need to buy? I got this. I want to do this. I'm not going to buy the starter, or I want to split the starter with a friend. What else do I need? Well, we're going to take a look at all that today and show you exactly what is coming out and what it all means for the game as far as do you need it, do you not need it, and what should you pick up. Okay, so first things first, let's talk about pricing. So once again, this release definitely kind of mirrors Kill Team, 40k Kill Team in some sorts of ways with the rollout and everything like that. There is a bunch of battle plan cards packs that came out, so you can use these to augment or to actually play Warcry with an existing Age of Sigmar army. Now there isn't all of them yet, and they said that they'll be coming out with more, but we don't have any ETA on that. I don't think there's any coming out next week with the rest of the war bands, but you know, slowly but surely I imagine they'll be getting these out so you can add more and more of the existing Age of Sigmar armies. These are $8 for these card packs, and they're huge. I mean, they're big. Check it out, and it's going to come with the warrior cards and the little the smaller warrior cards and the big like abilities card. But that's just the thing is you might not need everything that comes in here, and I'll kind of show you that here in a second. But those are all $8 each. The ruler itself is actually pretty neat, and a lot of people were kind of turned off on that soft, spongy, like kind of foam stuff. And I'm going to show you that why I think this is actually kind of cool. The ruler is $15. Battle plan cards. Well, they explain to you on the back what you get in here, but you actually may or may not need these. These are $18. There's the very first expansion set, which is a Cypher Lords, $50 US, and it's going to come with all the stuff in here, and we'll show you that here in a second. Hopefully put one of these together. That might be a separate video, actually. I don't know. We haven't crossed that bridge yet, but we'll see where we get. And then, of course, the rulebook itself for $40 US. And last but certainly not least is the Corpsewrack Mausoleum, which is, I say it like it's a cheese, which is a terrain set for this, and we'll show you what, I didn't buy it because there's a reason I didn't buy it, and I'll explain it more in a second, but that is $90 US, and we'll get to that. There's a really interesting kind of flow chart of that particular kit, because it's actually the third time they've released the same exact terrain kit for Warhammer in general. So first up is the rulebook. It's the same exact rulebook that comes in the starter set as the starter set rulebook, except for the starter set rulebook comes with all the instructions for everything else in here and the quick start guide. So you don't get the quick start guide. Remember, there's tokens and a little fold out battle mat as well that comes in this. Doesn't come in this, but I'll show you what that actually is going to come in here in a second. Then, of course, there is the battle plan cards, and the battle plan cards are a big, thick box. They're, you know, bigger than the normal data cards. And what this is here, as you can see, is they're going to explain it to you. It's 36 of the deployment cards, 36 of the twist cards, 36 of the victory cards. And the reason we're not zoomed in on this here is because I'm going to show you this. It comes with these 3 packs that come in the starter set. It does not come with the terrain cards, the Warcry Battlefield terrain cards, because those are for the terrain that comes in the starter set. So these wouldn't even pertain to any of this. But to get the terrain cards, you'll get those in a terrain set, which we're going to show you here in a second. And then, of course, it doesn't come with the fighter cards that come in the starter set either. So this is valued basically at $18, which kind of tracks with what we were saying for the estimated value of the starter set itself. Next up is the official Warcry ruler. And we've seen these official branded items before. Now, this one, I believe, what does this go for? Looking at my price list here, $15 US. And, you know, a lot of people are like, I bought the ruler before, G-Dub got me, and I didn't think it was like worth the money or whatever. Why are you showing me this? Why can't we just look at something else? Well, first off, it's a 9-inch ruler. It looks like 9 inches. I think it's 9 inches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 7. So technically 8-ish. I guess that would be 8 right there for measurements. And yes, it is flimsy. And yes, it is a little foamy. But what is cool about this is it actually keeps the shape. So if you're measuring in weird little around corners or going to assault somebody, it actually keeps the shape, and then you know, you're like, oh, okay, cool. So 1 inch over to here, I'm gonna assault you, and boom, there it is. That's actually kind of cool. I'm digging that 100%. And then you can fold it back out, and it just boom, mashes down. I mean, you could roll it into a ball, I guess. I don't know, and put it away, put it in your pocket, bring it out for a snack. Hey, Napoleon, give me your tots. Next up is the $35 Warcry case, or carry case, I suppose. This is the same exact case as we've seen in the past with Kill Team, and I get lost track of how many other ones it came out with. But it's that same zigzag triangle foam, aka the sword breaker foam. A lot of folks complain, hey, I put my models in here and the swords, the little points break off and I don't really like it. And I did point out several times that it is not a hard case, so you want to be very careful that you don't sit on, obviously don't sit on your cases. But if you put it in your backpack, just remember that it is squishy in the middle. So it could, in theory, squish into your models right here and break them. But it will in theory hold, you know, a warband's worth of models and kind of, you know, in here and the weird shapes. It shouldn't be a problem. But buyer beware, your models may break either from the foam itself or from pressures from the outside kind of pushing in. Doesn't mean it's a bad case. It just means, hey, don't sit on it, don't throw it around, don't disrespect the case, because it'll probably disrespect your minis. Next up is all of the new card packs for Warcry. There's a bunch of them, but there isn't all the factions, right? It doesn't matter how many they made, because they'll probably come out with all the ones, because let's face it, G-Dub's all in on this Warcry, and they like money, so let's not be stupid. If you're waiting on a faction, it'll probably be out at some point. Now, what comes in these little bad boys for $8 each? Well, for $8, you'll get all the cards you need to play your faction from AOS over to Warcry. You will also need, of course, battle plan cards for the terrain cards that come in a terrain set, which I'm going to show you next. And you'll also need the battle plan cards with the twists and all of the deployment cards and victory cards and things like that as well. So just keep that in mind. But long story short, you don't have to buy a $170 starter to play with, say, your Iron Jaws. Now, you're probably like, hey, why are all these cards the same? Well, all these cards are the same because they're all different versions of languages. Look at that. So they put all this stuff into one when really all you need is your language right there. And then you've got, I don't know what these are because to be quite honest with you, I haven't played a demo game yet. I haven't even looked at anybody's videos to see how to play this game. It looks cool, and in theory, I definitely want to learn, but I just haven't had time yet. That doesn't mean I haven't been tracking what I need to buy to play the game. And then all of these cards are the same because they're, you know, IKEA style. All the shapes and everything in here just make sense. It doesn't matter what language you speak because you'll recognize the symbol. Hey, a skull is a skull, a sword is a sword, whatever. It doesn't, you know, you don't need 8 versions of these cards in order to play the game. So that being said, it's neat on GW for putting this out, but you're going to have some extra cards right here. I don't know how that's going to play out, but hey, maybe, I don't know, hang them up in your room. Use them as coasters. Who knows? Now, switching over to browser cam. Through the magic of the internet, I can show you what the Corpsewrack mausoleum has inside. And like I was saying, you're going to get the fold-out terrain set right here, very similar in size to Kill Team, and all the tokens and things that you're going to need that come in the starter. So these come in the starter, but you get a different set of terrain in the starter. And it's going to come with the terrain cards here, which I showed you earlier, but those were for, of course, the ones that come in the starter. So these are going to be different ones for this Corpsewrack mausoleum. Now, why you need this particular one right here? This is $90, and it comes with all of these things to play. That is very important because, like I said, this is the 3rd time they've actually released this terrain. Previously, it was called the Sigmarite mausoleum, which is the same thing, just all bunched up in the little fences right there, as you can see. Previously, when they released this 2 years ago in 2017, it was $80. And going even further back to the previous incarnation of that, it used to be called the Garden of Moor, and it was $45, but you only got half the amount of terrain. So now it's $90 for double the amount of terrain in 2019, and it comes with all the stuff you're going to need to play the game. Which brings us to our next point. What the heck are you going to need to buy to play the game if you don't buy the starter? So what the heck are you going to need to play the game? Well, first, you're going to need the rulebook. That's $40. Then you're going to need the battle plan cards. Those are $18. Then, of course, you're going to need whatever pack of faction cards that you want to play from AOS. Or, conversely, you could buy one of these for $50, but we're not going to count that. We're just going to say you have an existing army right there. And then you're going to need the terrain. And you're going to need that set of terrain that I just showed you right now, as it's the only one that's released. So that is $90. So grand total of what you'll need to play the game with everything besides models themselves is $156 US. Remember, this starter is $170. So it almost almost makes sense to just buy the starter, have some new models, have a set of terrain, maybe split it with a friend, pick up a different set of terrain so you could have 2 sets of terrains, 2 pools of terrain to pull from, or do something like that. Because at $156, you might as well just be like, all right, well, $156, I'm just gonna buy the other pack of cards, and now I have 3 different warbands, maybe some starter warbands or something like that. It's really hard to say at this point, but the math kind of supports, hey, maybe I just need to pick up the starter or something like that. So either way, that's kind of my views on it. Again, I really hope to get in a game so I can speak more fluently of this. I procrastinated playing Warhammer Underworlds for so long, and it was a really, really dope and fun game. And I'm really glad that I eventually learned how to play that. Warcry definitely looks cool. Definitely want to start to play it very, very soon. But there's your breakdown of what you need to play, what's coming out this week, what you might need to buy next, depending on your particular circumstance. And that's the best we can do for this week. More new warbands coming out next week. Of course, Necromunda stuff coming out next week. And I think we're going to try to do a separate video, unbox and build the new Cypher Lords as well. So look for that here shortly on the YouTubes as well. I'm Baer. Thank you very much for watching this video, and make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you can be the very first to like and comment on all our videos.